How you doing? It's Imran from Web Squadron, and this is our very first go live event where we're live streaming to Instagram, Facebook, my personal Facebook, our own Facebook Web Squadron channel as well, and to LinkedIn as well. So I'm hoping there's people I know or do not know who are watching this, and I hope you're going to gain a lot out of it. Please do join in if you want. There is a link there. Do join in. Come and chat with us. Pose any questions you want to pose about Web Squadron or about the internet, WordPress, Elementor Pro, page speed scores, WooCommerce, anything like that. Anything we can help you out with, branding or marketing and things like that. If you don't know who I am, please do go have a look at our YouTube channel, and I will be putting some links in the chat later on as well. So go and look at our YouTube channel, go and see who we are, who I am, what we do and how we do it. We try to be as friendly as we can be. We try not to be monotone and overly serious and kind of saying you must do this and you must do that. We try natural. We try and be open and honest as well about what we think as well, because now and again, there will be a certain way of doing things, but it's good to understand what that is. And so that's what we're trying to achieve here today with our live stream. And hey, we've got John Boyd. Hi, John. How are you doing? And it's someone I've spoken to a few times as well. And I'm so glad that you're here. So one of the things that we did today was we went and got our WooCommerce video done. And for about 3 or 4 weeks now, people have been sending me messages on Facebook and on YouTube going, when are you going to do a WooCommerce video? And to be honest, there are loads of WooCommerce tutorials out there. However, I do find, I don't know how you feel, I do find a lot of them, they tend to repeat themselves in what they do. You install this is how you create a product, this is how you do a page, shop page, and they move on. And I wanted to share in the tutorial some tips and hints about things you might want to consider and think about. So one of the really, really key ones is, and I'm just going to do a share screen so you can actually see this as well. Oh, all of this technology, it's too much. No, it's not. So over here, we can see WooCommerce. And one of the things that sometimes does get overlooked is when it comes to your images. And it's dead easy to upload loads of images for your product. And then you have a problem when you're creating your shop page where you have an image that is about that big. Can you see me? My finger? Probably, let me just change this like so. So you've got an image that's about that big, and you've got another one that's that big. And when you look at the shop page, it looks very scattered. And the main issue for that is because your original images that you loaded into your media library weren't consistent. It's an easy mistake to make. I made it. And what I now do is, rather than just uploading images straight away, what I do is I go to canva.com. You can use Photoshop and other means as well. And I'm just going to very quickly show you. I'm not going to log in. I'm just going to create a basic template using a logo. And the reason I used a logo template for canva.com, again, this is all free, is because it's 500 by 500 pixels. Yeah, skip the talk. Now, if you go to File and you go Show Margins, can you see there? We have an outline of a margin in the middle of the page. So if I was now to add in a product, and I'm just going to type in Woo. There we go. No, let's not do Woo. Let's do WordPress. Okay, let's just take this logo here. If I dump this logo in and I now make it fit the kind of like the border edges of that square. Okay, look, ooh, I'm not doing this very well, am I? But look, if I try and get this to like fit and kind of be roughly centered within that area, like so, when I then come to download that as a PNG file, okay, and I then upload that into my media library over here, these images are now consistent. Look at the spacing on either side of this WooCommerce logo here. And I'm now going to move over to another logo, Elementor. Can you see that? The spacing either side is the same. Instagram, well, LinkedIn, sorry, Instagram, YouTube. Okay, we have consistency. So when you do eventually create your shop page, you've got consistent images. So what you should do, and my recommendation is, you want to make sure you've got a grid somewhere or an outline. Put in the t-shirt, put in the shoes, put in the belt, put in the hat, put in all of your products, okay? And if you keep them roughly to, you set out the layout for it, it gives you consistency. And if you start to add that in to your media library, when you do eventually build your shop, it works a treat. And look, if I'm just going to show you the store that we did create, and we created this today, and there's a video on YouTube now. It's about 1.5 hours long. This is me using a background image. So behind the logo, I put a background image. And again, it's consistent with every one of those blocks. And then behind them on the actual shop page, I put the same image again, this time as a landscape. So you get a bit of a unique feel to the shop rather than your traditional white background images and its storefront theme and template. It's just not exciting enough, is it? And look, and if you find that you disagree, please drop a message in. Let us know what you think. We love to engage and work with people. But by keeping it consistent, it just looks better on the web. Now, we are planning to do some more tutorial videos. You know, I am going to try and do one that's more about directories. And we are going to go a bit more depth into WooCommerce, because one of the areas I did not cover in the video is I did not cover flexible shipping. Now, you might say, well, it's dead easy to do flexible shipping in WooCommerce. We have the shipping option. Look, there it is. There we have shipping. It's dead easy to do. However, there is an even easier and a more amazing way to do it using a free plugin. But I am going to be doing a tutorial for that very, very soon. Now, to be honest, with regards to a lot of our clients, and we've built a lot of websites in the last year, we have had more non-e-commerce clients than we have e-commerce, which has been a bit strange because you always tend to think, oh, we're going to get an influx of people that have businesses that want to sell products. Believe it or not, there's a lot more people out there. And I think some of this is due to the lockdown, I believe, COVID-19, coronavirus. There's a lot more solicitors, lawyers, dentists, ophthalmologists, counselors, psychotherapists, teachers, tutors. They used to get by with word of mouth. And what they are now finding is that the website they might have built with GoDaddy a year or two ago doesn't fit the purpose now, because other people out there are using Wix and other products to create more dynamic looking websites. So we're finding there's a lot more people coming forwards now. And we are finding that we're building quite a lot of psychotherapists or counseling websites as well. And they, you know, they're not the most how should I explain it? They're not the most complicated websites either to build. So here's one we built not long ago for psychotherapists. It's a very clean looking website. You know, you go through, it explains the services and what psychotherapy is, but it's just one of those very clean looking websites. And we quite like this look because we think it's just flows. You know, it's not complicated. You know, your eyes aren't fighting for attention on what you see on the screen. We like to do things like that. And we are finding there's a lot more people coming forward for things like that. One of the things that I am very passionate about, and I hope that, let me just get into my plugin so I can make sure I show you. I am really, really passionate about page optimization, not just on the flow and how things work and how quick they are, but also about how does it score on page speed insights. And at every stage when I'm building a website, in fact, let me tell you exactly how I do it. Okay, so I'll grab a bit of paper. Let me just change this a little bit like so. There we go. So rather than using like Figma or other types of online or whatever software, because I just feel like it's a lot quicker just to grab a bit of paper and do a scribble, right? Am I right or wrong there? You just do a scribble. You can email it, the draft photo to someone. You can scribble it again. Rather than spending hours and hours, I think, doing an online, like a wireframe online, because I think that is time that's used up and you may end up charging your client for it. And if you don't agree on things, there'll be a lot of back and forth and the relationship could suffer. It can happen, right? So I find by doing scribbles over what I want is normally a very quick way of them communicating to me and me vice versa to them. What we then do is, and you'll see this in our tutorials, we then create our header. So, you know, we're going to have our logo. Probably can't see that guy. There we go. We're going to have, oh, the brightness in here is just not very good, is it? I'll use a bigger marker next time. So we have our logo and we have our menu and maybe social sharing icons. And what we always recommend that when you're building, once you've done it in the desktop, view it in the mobile view, okay, using Elementor's responsive mode, okay, and check how it looks. And if it's not right, modify it there and then. Sort out your margins, sort out your padding, sort out the layout, not the layout. So you got the logo here. Let me get my fingers right. You got your logo here and you got your menu over here, right? And it probably was 2 columns in desktop. When you get to the mobile, you probably are still going to have 2 columns, but now your logo might only need to be, I don't know, 50% of the column width for the mobile, and the other 50% is the menu, which is now the hamburger. You know, you click it, boop, and your menu drops down. Get that right. Then move on to your hero section. I don't even know why I'm drawing on here because you're not going to be able to see it. Okay, and I've dropped my pen as well in the process. So that was great, wasn't it? Just grab my pen. Right, here we go. I'm back. Right, so we're going to have our hero section. So you're going to add your section in. You can add your image in, or a slider, or a video, or nothing. Might just be text. Okay, get it to look good on your desktop. I always recommend using EM or REM for the font rather than pixels. It just helps when you're doing responsive, right? So you do that. And again, I've got videos on that in YouTube about pixels versus EM and all of that. Once you've done that, move on to the mobile mode, because now you want to view it. And what I'll do, in fact, is I'll just go to one of these pages on here and we'll go to, how about we go to the home page? I'm so sorry. I put on these weird accents all the time because I feel like I'm a Marvel hero in the waiting. Right. So we have this page over here. Okay. And I'm just going to extend this screen a little bit like so. Let's just go. Here we go. Right. So there we have a logo, which was just a rubbish logo. This page, by the way, is a fake page that we use for training and things. We have our menu over here, social sharing icons. Okay. Right. If we now edit the header, okay, just to show you that, if we now move to the mobile mode, and remember, when you put it into mobile mode, it always goes to 320. I always put it as 378. Why do you do that, you say? Well, 378 is the pixel width of an iPhone XR. Okay, so the iPhone XR is going to basically be roughly about that size there. Okay, and yes, there are going to be bigger phones and slightly smaller, but I think if you can get it right for the XR, you're pretty much okay for all the others. A bit of tinkering on the Samsung, but you're pretty much okay. So if we now view this on the mobile responsive mode, you can see now before, let's just put it back again. Look, we have the logo all the way over there, got the menu over there, and social sharing's icons above. We put it back to the mobile. Okay, and 378, that number is going to be stuck in your head by the end of this session. We can now see the logo, and the column width for that is only 37%. Column 2, obviously, is 63%. But now we have the social sharing icons, which were above the menu, are now to the right of the menu, and they're in line. And there lies the clue. So when we go to social sharing icons, when we go to advanced, if you go to positioning, look, it says inline auto for the mobile, right? It's only for the mobile. And if we go to the menu bar, okay, again, with a navigation hamburger, positioning inline auto for the mobile. So for the desktop, it is not in line because I like it sitting above the menu, the social sharing icons. In the navigation bar, though, it just would take up too much space because this at the moment is a sticky header, right? So I don't want it to be 2 lines. So that is why for this at the moment, it is inline auto, okay? My big tip though is don't overdo inline auto. Inline auto is not recommended because it can start to affect your performance or your page speed because it's just the way the code works, DOM, okay? The way things render in the background. So don't overdo inline auto. Inner sections and inline auto. If you have too many, it will mess up your page speed scores on your desktop and your mobile, especially your mobile, okay? So do them, but don't go overboard with it, okay? And for anyone that isn't sure, if you click on a section the top of the section where you have the grid, whether it's a desktop or a mobile, just go to advanced, go to motion effects, and just set the sticky to be top. You set it to be bottom, it'll be at the bottom, but set it to be top and it's at the top. Okay, now back onto what I originally went on to here. It was about the hero banner. I do talk a lot, by the way, and I do sometimes worry, do I talk too quick? Because sometimes when I get excited about things, I suddenly start to accelerate. And when I'm being very thoughtful, I will slow down and be a little bit more methodical and Yoda-like in my speaking. But I hope the speed is okay. Now, when we're editing this page, okay, we have a hero banner, we have an image in the background, and we have our header, another bit of header text, and we have a button. Now, this section, okay, was set as a boxed 1200. Why did I do that? Well, basically, if I had it as a full width, that light bulb wording over there is going to be right over to the left-hand side, which I wasn't overly keen on. I'm just going to try this for a moment, just see how this looks. There we go. Hey, I'm back. Right, probably have to move myself over here a little bit, don't I, just to see myself. But let's just put it back again to that. Hey, Avinash. Hey, very quickly, Avinash. Hey, thanks for that. I love watching. You love watching our videos. Well, there's loads more coming out. I'm going to try and hit 1,000 videos by Christmas. I do not think I will achieve it, but I'm going to try my damnedest to do it. Oh, and John's asked a question. Sorry, I just missed this. In the positioning section, could we use custom as well? So yeah, if we just put this onto, well, we'll leave it there for now. You can, there we go. Right, so if we just go back into the header, you can use the custom as well. I don't really use it. Honestly, I don't use it a massive amount, okay? So let me just pick, let's put it onto mobile. By the way, I have my laptop screen down here where I can see you all and your questions. And over here, just above, I have my monitor. So if you're wondering, why do I keep doing that? Because I've got my camera here as well. The monitor's there and they're just slightly overlapped. Right, so if we go back over here to the social sharing icons, I put the positioning as inline auto. You could do custom as well. And this is where you start to mess around with how it works. Now, I find that inline auto works for me. I am not against using the custom, and I have seen videos about this as well. So if you feel like you want to do this, you can do. Custom is recommended, though, in terms of responsive and different size screens. So I do say play around with it. Sometimes what I do is I will create 2 pages or 2 headers. You do one of them, one as inline, and then you kind of view it on different sizes, and you start to watch, well, what happens to this page as I start to increase or page width. Right, back again to the edit the page. Yes, no, that's a good point. Yes, John's made the point here that by using custom, this enables the flex type of positioning. Absolutely. Yes, it does. And it's one of the things I'm coming around more to. So force of habit, I was using inline auto, but I have started using custom a bit more. I haven't fully made my mind up, if I'm honest, on which one I like and don't like. I'm waiting for that point where the flex is so amazing that I kind of go, you know what? I've got to make everything using the custom. So I'm just waiting for that groundbreaking moment where I go, I've got to make the switch to doing that. We all have it, don't we? We have a way of building it. And until we see something being done or we experience a problem that kind of changes our mindset, sometimes we get a bit stuck in our ways. But I would say always experiment and see which one works for your best. And, you know, do drop me an email, you know, let me know if you're finding there's a definite reason we need to use it and we can get a video created on it. So back to this page, 1200 is the pixel width. We have a header. We have another header. So a header 1, header 2 for site engine optimization, rank math reasons. I love rank math. I know not everybody does, but I love rank math. Okay. And then we have our button down here. Now, we have an image. Now, this is something I talked about in a lot of my videos, and I hope you appreciate this. When we go to style, we have a background section. There is my image. You can see the image. Look, it is a horizontal. Oh, you can't see the image, actually. It's just gone there. We have a horizontal image, right? Light bulb. Bing. You can't miss it. When we go to the mobile view, okay, let's just put this as, what's that number? 378. Yep, you're all getting there now. In fact, I just typed 3278. Gone. Right, there we go. 378. Okay. We still have the text. I've modified the sizing of it a little bit, whatever, just to make it fit the screen and the button. But here's something I really want to stress out to you, okay? When I then created this section, okay, I've gone in and made sure that I have set my padding for my section to be 15 right, 15 left. Why have I done 15? I find 15 is the most comfortable padding you have when you're viewing on a mobile. Go too much in it. You can go more if you want, but any less than that, it starts to get too close to the borders of the page. And there's nothing, I'm not a fan when I'm looking at a page and the text is right across. I just find it a little bit, I don't know, it just feels just too tight. And I'm not a huge fan of that. Okay. So I will then set my padding, and please, I hope you understand this. We had an image for this on the desktop. I'm in the same section. This is not a different section. This is the same section. In style, I now have a image. In fact, I need to show you it here. So come on, load more. Where's that image? Where is that image? Come on. We're going to get there. Come on, everybody. Here we go. We're going to get there. We're going to get there. Right, look, see this image here? Can you see the size of it? That is 499 by 801 pixels. It's probably a bit bigger than it needs to be, but it's 499 in width. It is no longer a horizontal image. It is a vertical image. All I did was load up again the image I had before, right? So look, here was the original image. There it is, horizontal. I added it in again. I then went to edit image and I just did crop, and I cropped it, okay, to be that size that you see right. Actually, it's over here. No, it's over there. Where am I? Where's my finger? There we go. It's over there, right? By doing that, let me just close that down. By doing that, the image that is loaded on the mobile will be that image. Get my fingers right. It's that image, the smaller one. Why is this important? Even though you take an image and you compressed it, and maybe you took the PNG and turned it into a JPEG so it slices off even more of the size. Then you've turned it into a WebP, okay? If the image is like a horizontal, it can affect your page speed insight score. You might be thinking, well, why? I've done everything, but it still will. By you putting in a slightly different sized image, because over here, you can pick another image for the mobile. It doesn't have to be the same image. It can make a big impact. Last 8-9 websites I've built where I've started this strategy now with all images, when you get to the mobile view, problems, okay? Never is it mentioned anymore about overflow or images or the size or anything whatsoever. Everything is voila, it works. And that's something I would recommend you do. But I skip a lot, don't I? But again, the point I'm trying to make is that as you work through each section, right? So let's get down to this text one here. Here's a text section, okay? And you can see here, 15 right, 15 left for the padding. Why is this important? Once you get it right for the desktop and you get it right for the mobile, the next time I want to add in another text section, I'm just going to go down here or whatever. I'm just going to paste in a new section and it's got everything built for me, right? I could even have a blank section. Let's get rid of the text box and just apply the style of the section. That section, okay, which has nothing in it at the moment, is still 15 right, 15 left. Why am I telling you this? Because if you spend the time to get it right at the start, okay, with all of your sections and everything you do, in fact, I just want to get rid of that section. Let me just undo what I did, because this is the home page we're working at. By getting it right, okay, in terms of how you make it look, when you then come to do another section, you've already got the blueprint in place in terms of the padding. Because there is nothing worse than building a 10-page website and then you view it on the mobile and then you realize you got to go through every section and column to get it right. It doesn't take long. Let's be honest here. Double checking your desktop to mobile responsiveness, you might lose an hour, if that. It's not a problem. But if you get it right, you save yourself this headache of having to do it later. And it then just means that you're able to go from desktop to tablet to mobile really quickly. I have to be honest now, I don't do much on the tablet view. And I'm a little bit on the fence with it. If I've got a client who I know is very passionate about the responsiveness across all devices, I will start to do that for them. Okay, I'll do desktop. I'll then shrink my screen to do like a laptop-y size desktop or a laptop, tablet, and mobile. I'll do that. However, I'm finding less people are using tablets. Surface Pro, iPad Pro, yes, they're all fine, but they're all kind of the landscape mode normally when you're looking at websites, most of the time anyway. And I find that the portrait tablet, I'm not saying it's out of date. I just feel like, how much time can you spend on that? Because there's so many different size devices out there. You're not going to be able to satisfy all of them. Yes, you can with app media codes and queries, but for a lot of us, Elementor is meant to be the code-free way of doing it. And by the way, I'm not a coder, okay? I'm not a HTML, CSS, widget creating person. I was creating websites about 20 odd years ago. 15 years ago, I went a bit more serious about it. And I was doing coding and I hated it and didn't like it. There was a sense of achievement. And sometimes it was like, I just can't get my head around this in some areas. SQL, structured query language, right? I am an expert on that. Analyst in the health industry. I love doing that. I love doing programming. HTML and CSS, if you don't get it right, you got to think about it a little bit. Elementor just made things so much easier. And I know people are going to go on about the bloat, slowness, too much stuff on the website that you don't really need. Well, yeah, that is true. But if you think carefully, let me just make myself bigger here. Hello. If you think carefully about your layout, your content, and at every stage you check your page speed insights, you can be fine. In the early days, I used to check my website with GT metrics, and I'd be like, yay, 98%, whoa, yay, 100%, brilliant, brilliant. When I started moving on to page speed insights, mobile score, 45. And you kind of go, what? Why? The desktop is 9900. I've covered everything. Why am I getting 45, 50 on the mobile? And you start breaking it down. And you go, what? Why? It shouldn't happen. Now, when I first install a brand new WordPress website and it's got hello theme loaded up, I check the page speed insights. You always get 100%. Unless the server is wobbling or a bit slow, you're always going to get 100%. Okay, if you don't, double check why. You install Elementor, you're still at 100%. Elementor Pro, 100%. You add in your first header, right? And you make sure that your logo or your images are right, sized correctly for the mobile as well on the header, okay? You do all of that, and you should still hit 99 to 100%. You should not be deviating more from that. You do your first hero banner, get your images right and everything else, okay? And you should hit 100% again. And I'm just gonna jump onto Web, which is us, of course, by the way, page, right, with the logo and the menu at the top with our, oh, sorry, you can't see it, can you? Where's my mouse? Where's my mouse? Where's my mouse? The joys of doing things live. Okay, there we go. We got an image. So I got an image and I added an image of one of our websites that we actually have on our staging free website over here. Okay, we've got some moving like motion effects going on with some testimonials, bit more text, some bit more rolling motion effect, rotating icons or images, text, button, image, button, testimonials, whatever. This page on the desktop and the mobile gets 100%. Okay, 100% on the mobile. Unlike a lot of videos out there that go into optimization and how you can get 99, 100%, they sometimes have just a bit of text and they might have just one little image. And they go on and on about how they've gone from 35 to 100. And I go, for you to score 35% with just an image and a text, well, that's because you blatantly put in an uncompressed image, right? and your text, I don't know, something, you must have done something really dodgy on there. Okay, you got no caching whatsoever. So you can hit 100%. Okay, and I know this is not the craziest, most funkiest looking page. Okay, I understand that. Okay, but that's not the point of what I'm trying to show you here. It's just that, whoa, what did I just do? I think I nearly broke my testing site then. No, so you can actually score really high if you think methodically and you test at each stage. Because if you then eventually, let me just show you another page here. Let's go for the electric scrolling header page. Here we go. And again, there's a video on this, on how I created it and how I did the header. Okay. So look, when you scroll down, this is all using the hello theme and a bit of CSS. When you scroll, it doesn't look right here because I'm not on the live site. So ignore that. Okay. But right. I'm going to scrap that one because it's not a great one to show you because it looks better when you're actually on live. Right, okay, yeah, right, okay. This page as well currently scores 99 on the mobile. Okay, we have a video here, bit of a glitchy video. Look, in it, look carefully, it's going to move. See that? That's not your screen or your Wi-Fi. That's just a bit of a 4-second video we added in. And we got things going on here, okay? Now, very simple website, but we're still hitting 99, 100 on desktop, 99 on the mobile. So you can achieve it. You can achieve good SEO. You can achieve a high performing website that is quick without the bloat. And what I was meant to say before I came onto here is you do your header, check your page speed insight. You do your hero banner, check your page speed insight. Check it on the mobile as well. Don't just do desktop, mobile, check. You go to your next section. We've got a bit of overlap. We added in a video. At this point, I thought our score was going to drop by maybe 5 or 6%. We still hit 99%. And that was because, again, we had different sized images loading up depending on the mobile or the desktop, right? And again, we kept going on and on and on and on. And then we got a background icon. We've got an overlay. Look, you can see the overlay there. You can see the shadow, the smoky effect going over the background there. Okay, this is a fake. This isn't a real website. This is just me building it for one of our YouTube videos. So again, if you build it right and you get your images right, you are going to hit 99%. So anyone out there, whenever I see posts with people really, really slating Elementor, I have to kind of remind them that just like you hate Elementor and you love Divi or Oxygen or Beaver Builder or a page builder that came with GoDaddy or whatever, just like you love that, someone else is going to love something else. It's like cars, isn't it? Food, clothes, houses, the people we have relationships with. We are all subjectively different, are we not? You know, so no one's going to like the same thing. And as long as Elementor does for me what I want it to do, I don't like criticism of the product, because the number one criticism is the bloat, how slow it is, and performance. Well, I kind of throw this back and go, no, it's not. If you're having that problem, I would say go back a step and just revisit your website. And you know, one of the things I was going to talk about here a lot more was about your Google Core Web Vitals. Obviously, your page speed insights. We've kind of covered some of that over here. And what you want to be careful of is, and here's my big tip to you, okay? If you want to hit a high score and you want to get a green on all of the Google Core Web Vitals, try to resist having carousels or sliders or motion effects above the fold, okay? So what do I mean above the fold? On your mobile phone, when you're looking at the website, what do you see before you get to the bottom, right? Okay, so if we just go to, let's just go back to the Web Squadron website, boom, 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 like so. Okay, if I shrink this down, is this going to work on this screen? Yes, it does. Look, so when you're viewing this on a mobile phone, if this was done correctly, this is what you see above the fold. There's no sliders, there's no motion effects going on. It's just keeping it simple, right? Because what I have found is that if you have any motion effects or sliders or anything like that, or anything that's going to make your text, which was meant to be positioned, say, here, now suddenly move like a millimeter down because something else is loaded up, like an image. Okay, and I'll come on to that, lazy loading. You're going to get cumulative layout shift, okay? If you add in a big video or a slideshow that's got 5 or 6 images in, you're going to get a delay with your largest content loading up. right? So I say optimized images that are mainly static. You know, if your client wants a moving thing, you're going to have to go with it, right? But if you can try and resist that as much as you can and explain why, it helps massively. And I use auto-optimize, okay? And there is no right or wrong answer for this, okay? So anyone watching this, anyone who likes WP Rocket, great. It's a premium plugin. It's a fantastic plugin. I don't use it because I don't want to pay for it because I've paid for enough things as it is. If you want to use it, go for it. I know there are some people who also use NitroPack. I don't mean to offend anyone, but NitroPack is delaying the loading of certain widgets and elements in your website to trick the system, in my opinion. And eventually Google and other people, they are already wise to it, by the way. I must tell you, they are wise to it. They will eventually start to penalize you if you're using that. Because what happens is you get someone and the website score is like 50%. They add NitroPack in and they're suddenly hitting 99 and they go, job done. And I'm going, yeah, but you didn't sort out your images. You didn't sort out your cumulative layout shift or the issues that affected the page. You just used a plugin to kind of do that. And over time, you're going to have to start paying for that. And I kind of go, well, rather than doing that, just work through your page layout. There is a free plugin called Auto-Optimize. Again, in my videos, I go through the settings, but the one I want to just mention to you here is lazy load here. It's very common for us to add galleries and images where we lazy load, right? We kind of think it's a good thing. Rather than having all of your images load up instantly and slow your website down, we want to load them in gradually as you scroll. That's okay for further down the fold before the before the customer or the viewer has scrolled down on your desktop, your laptop, or your mobile. But if you are lazy loading images from the get-go, the image right at the top is also going to be lazy loaded. Therefore, you just added in a delay on your largest content, your first, the interaction, all of those metrics. You've just added a delay in. So with Auto-Optimize, I put 6 on here. I don't think I need to have 6. I think 2 or 3 is enough. If you add in a number here, so let's say I put in 2, what this now means is the first and second image must not be lazy loaded. Get them in, okay? Load them up without any delay. After that, because I now know we're beyond the fold, I don't care. Lazy load them in, fine. But above the fold, get them in. And believe me, when you do that, well, I try it, right? Put Auto-Optimize in, okay? Try it before and try it afterwards. Make sure you purge your cache. You might need to go to your server as well to do that. So purge your cache. And once you've done that, it will then, my computer bleeped for a second. I'm just got to check no one posted the message there. No, it's fine. Yeah. And so I would say that, So I'd say when you lazy load, okay, afterwards, it will have an impact on your score. And the other tip I will give you, and this one, I get quite a bit of abuse about this one, okay? But those that have done this have come back and found it's fine and works for them. Remove Google fonts. Loads of tutorials out there tell you, I think it's the 4th one they tell you to go for. I think it's this one. Yeah, the 4th one. Combine and link deferred in head. Fonts load late, but are not render blocking. It sounds like a line from Shakespeare on the stage. It includes display swap. But I do remove Google fonts. And the reason being is because I'm only going to use certain fonts. Now, when you do remove them, it will affect your site. So what I then do is I will go over to Elementor custom fonts. And if I need to, if I'm using Roboto, it never really matters that much. But if I'm using another font like Lato or Montserrat or Glacial Indifference or something, I will load them in and it's fine. Just been asked a question here. Hey there. Hey, thanks for coming along, by the way. I don't know if we've spoken before, but yeah, just started watching. How do you eliminate render blocking resources? Okay, right. So, so what I do is, let me just get rid of that question over there. Thanks for asking the question, by the way. This is where I go through Auto-Optimize. And again, I'm not going to spend too long going through all the settings because I have got videos. One of the videos I did, I think 2 or 3 days ago, Go to our YouTube channel, have a look at it. Okay, I go through all these settings, and what I do is if you start to aggregate some of your files, okay, and go through these settings, I found it kind of stopped the problem occurring. Like I said before, I am not a programming genius expert, and I did experiment a lot on this, watching other videos and trying to work out what worked for me as well. And what I found is just make sure you're not picking anything on here which can really improve and boost your performance, but it can also have a negative effect. So this one here, load the JavaScript early. Well, it creates render blocking, right? So just be careful of what you're ticking. And there's lots of caching plugins out there where they don't tell you that. It might say something like load JavaScript early. And in your head, you might think, hey, that sounds like a great thing. Let's do it. But once you're told this creates render blocking, you're going to kind of go, yeah, I don't think I'm going to go for it, right? So, please do, if you want to take a screenshot right now of my settings, go for it. And if you want to take a screenshot of this one, you can as well. Okay, but I'll let you know. But again, look at our previous videos and you will see the settings for this. And reach out to us as well if you want us to send you screenshots or anything like that. But by going through things like this, it's worked for us. Now, there are, I think, better coding ways you can do things for programming, for performance and all of that side of things. And if you want to go down that side, I would say you probably want to work with a coder or someone who's going to do a bit of back-end magic. But I'm hitting 99 to 100%. The only issue I get on SageMeet Insights, believe it or not, I do have one issue that crops up time and time again. The only issue I have, it is that I must reduce some Java. And guess what it is? It's auto-optimize. It is telling me that I have to get rid of auto-optimize if I want to get rid of this one little bit of improvement. But I don't, because I need auto-optimize. And basically, there's nothing you can do about it. You need it. And if that's the only complaint I get on PageSpeed Insights about my desktop and my mobile, it's kind of like, hallelujah, I'll take it. I'm not going to whinge or complain about that whatsoever. So I don't know if that answers your question. And I know I'm not going into coding, and I'm one of those people that still has to learn. I still have to be educated. And the very first time I realized I had render blocking, I thought, oh, is one of my images not loading? I can see the image. What's blocking? What's not rendered? So I'm not an expert in it, but I would say look at some of our videos, look at our settings, play around with it. By the way, please, 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 always make sure you have a backup, whether you do it manually with, plugins that do it, or you pay for it, or however you do it. Make sure your host, your server does it for you as well. I use SiteGround. By the way, yeah, let me just stress on that. I get 100%, and I'm using SiteGround, the shared hosting. I'm not on cloud. I haven't got a dedicated server. I'm on a shared hosting server. That current hosting package. I've got multiple ones, but the one where this site is on has already got 32 websites on. Okay, and I'm hitting 100%. So I don't fully buy into the whole you gotta have cloud. I have nothing against it, and if I had a website where I had a massive shop and I had people hitting my site a lot, purchasing items and a lot of visitors and traffic, I would definitely want to move on to a dedicated server or a cloud. But for me, it's fine, but I'm still hitting 100%. And, I would say, make sure you got a backup. If you do want to test out these settings, do it on a staging site. Look, this is a staging site of our main website. And this is where I did all my experiments. And when I find it works, I go back to my main site and do it, or I just move it over. So lazy loading your images, start after a certain point. So maybe the first 3 or 4 do not load. Jump in, let them load up. After that, they can lazy load. I don't care, they can lazy load. And for the extra, remove Google Fonts. And I guarantee you that if you've got a working website with 10 pages, when you do this, there's a 50-50 chance your fonts, they won't disappear, but they might suddenly switch back to being Roboto or a generic font. Okay, and all you got to do, okay, is just load up your fonts. Okay, go to custom fonts and just add new. Okay, and then load up your fonts, add your font variation, so, oh, it's going to be this size, it's going to be what weight is it and what style. You don't have to add in every single font variation, right? Because if on your website you've used Montserrat and you've used size 400 normal, size 600, maybe 800 or whatever, just load them through, right? Don't load up every variation, just load up the ones you need and you'll be fine. Because I don't quite get, I still don't quite understand why this one hasn't been talked about more, about removing Google fonts. I'm not going to name a couple of people here, but there are a few very well-known WordPress and Elementor tutors on YouTube, right? They got hundreds of thousands of subscribers and they put a video out and within an hour or so, they will have had 10,000 views, whatever. They are big hitters. They have regularly in the last 4 or 5 months put out videos where they go, I've got my website, blah, 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 blah. I've done everything right. I'm hitting 70%. I put Nitro Pack in. I hit 100%. Yay, that's the solution. And I just feel like, right, either you've been affiliated by Nitro Pack or whatever to use it, or you're just dodging the fact that you think your website was doing great. But actually, when you look at the pages and you study the pages, in fact, there were issues with it. By the way, though, we did do a video on this and a few people have gone ahead with this, but we actually created a wireframe template. Okay, so if anyone wants this, go over to our Web Squadron website, go to the page that has freebies, okay, and you can download, well, not download it, you subscribe and we'll send you this as a template. Basically, it's just a page layout and you can basically duplicate the sections as much as you want, rearrange the columns, the inner sections, whatever you want. I'm not trying to sell you anything here, by the way, this is completely free. But what you could do is you could, I don't know, you could pick something up and you could start to mess around and create a rough layout. So if you want to create a wireframe layout that you want to share with a client or whatever, this is available for you. But again, look, I'm not selling you anything, okay? That's not how we operate. We just want to help you out. We want to build trust, that you trust us, okay? We don't know everything. We love to learn from you. We want you to learn with us as well. We want to grow. I mean, I only started using Elementor middle of August last year. So we're nearly 12 months. Did you know that? We've been using it 12 months. And I was umming and ahhing about what software to use. And there were so many out there. And Elementor, there was something about it, the Facebook community group. I like to feel like I play a big part of that now, but that was a massive opportunity to engage with people, which I love. Such a great crowd, really. I know you are going to face criticism and someone's going to not like what you say, but it's a great community, right? We're all friends at the end of the day, aren't we? We all hug each other and support each other. But if you work on your pages, okay, and you think about your layout, okay, think about your margins, your paddings, think about your images and all of these things, you can get it to work and you shouldn't have any major problems with your website, okay? Whereas these other tutors, they're kind of claiming they've done something great with their page. They're 40% away from 100, Nitro Pack, and they feel, yep, job done. And I feel like, well, no, I would rather tell you how to kind of cover yourself, because one day Nitro Pack might switch their subscription. And one day they might say, right, now you got to pay $20 a month. And are you willing to do that? Or are you going to say, well, okay, we get rid of Nitro Pack, and then suddenly your score plummets because your Google Core Web Vitals, okay, if you're not hitting them really well, let me just improve. Well, let me just increase my face. Let me just get myself over here. Ding, I'm back. And let me just increase the light. Sorry, I've got to increase the light here a little bit because it's getting a bit dark now. It's nearly 9 p.m. in the UK. Right. If you don't spend the time to work on that, you are going to get penalized by Google. And some people don't believe it, but they are taking this really seriously. They want simple websites. I mean, why should Google get to decide? Well, they're a powerhouse. So if they say something and other people listen and adhere to it, we'd be a fool for going, no, I'm going to do what I want. Now, if you're a multi-million-pound company and you're able to throw oodles of money at your marketing, your branding, and no matter how rubbish your rank is, people are still going to go visit you, right? Apple.com. Have you ever done this page speed insights on that website? I dare you, go and do it, right? Microsoft.com. Go and have a look, right? But they don't care because we are always going to go to apple.com, right? Samsung, you're always going to go to who you want to go to. But if we're not as big as that, and you've got a great website, you've done your SEO, you've done your rank map, you've done all these things, if you're not careful, by not meeting the Google Core Web Vitals and getting a green and a regular good score, it's going to affect your rankings. And just because I've hit 100% for these websites now does not mean I'm going to hit 100% all the time, okay? Because my SiteGround server, sometimes I will get 85%, 92%, and then I jump back up to 99. It's because it's a shared server. Server speed, you know, things grinding away to a halt a little bit, it happens. But if you're always going to be hitting 40, 50% all the time, you can kiss that one-page ranking goodbye, unless you're a very, very niche specialist area, okay? Now, it's now 8:50 in the UK PM. We've got 10 minutes left, and rather than talking for the final 10 minutes, like if anyone's got any questions they want to pose, please do. And like, you know, if you don't want to ask a question here, or you want it to be private, just put the word private before your question, and I won't say your name or anything or show it on the screen. But if you want to pose any questions, please do. If I can't answer it now, we'll take it away. We are going to be doing these on a weekly basis, by the way. We are now committing to getting these done, okay? And we're going to have a think about what our next week topic is. We may do a bit more about WooCommerce, about shipping or things like that as well. But also, if there's any areas of interest that we come across, we will look into it. And people do set us challenges. Look, I've got a problem. How do I do this? And we try and find a solution for them. We do it for free, and we are using up our time to do it. So maybe we need to think a little bit about how we approach that. But if you've got a problem and no one else can help, call Web Squadron, okay? No, there is no AT music playing in the background, but, you know, please do let us know. And if you want any tips on how to set up this room that we've got set up here, please do let us know. I mean, by the way, this is my garden office I'm in, actually, okay? So if I just kind of do this, kind of like that, look, I'm in my garden office, right? You know, I've got these curtains and blankets to hide the light if it's still a bit of light coming in. And these here are just foam board I got from a hobby craft shop that have just been nailed into the wall to create a black effect. And then we have some lights down there that are on just to give you the blue and red. And I can change the color as well. But it's just a fun way of doing things. And unfortunately, when you wear glasses, you do get that annoying reflection, which is slightly annoying because I've got my monitor over there. And if I switched it off, I probably wouldn't have as big a problem. But what if I do that, it's less of a problem, right? So that's why I tend to look down a little bit when I'm talking. But we try to be as helpful as we can. I hope you're finding this useful. I hope you're finding us to be a little bit different. And that's because that's something I'm passionate about. We want to be the same old message being given across on YouTube or any other channel as well. Please do follow us. Please do, you know, subscribe if you can. And please engage with us on any of the media platforms that we got. Our mission, our goal really is that we just want to grow. And not just with Elementor, but with the community. And we hope we can train you up and help you along the way. So one of the questions that John has asked is, what is a good email address or the best way to contact me? So one of the ways that you can contact me is, well, I'm on Facebook, so I'm just writing it in here. So Facebook community group, I'm always on there. By the way, I get a lot of requests for people who want to be my friend. I'm really, really sorry, but I have to keep declining them. Because if I make you a friend on Facebook, it means you can now see my personal Facebook. My friends, my family, my son, the people I hate, the people I love, all of that. And I would say you don't need to be my friend. You can just message me, okay? You message me on LinkedIn, on Instagram, on Twitter, on Facebook. Just message me, okay? Or drop me an email. And the best email to get us on, I'm just typing it in here, so it's info@websquadron.co.uk. Okay, so if I now just show that, there we go. So Imran Siddiq at info@websquadron.co.uk. All right, our website is websquadron.co.uk. So it's just info@websquadron.co.uk. I was going to put the word superstar defender of the earth hero at websquadron.co.uk, and I was a little bit worried you might get the words mixed up and put something completely wrong in there. So info, because that's what we are. We like to be a resource. And just to let you know, though, I am talking in the background with the gods of Elementor. So I am now forming part of the Elementor Educators program, so helping to create videos and hopefully supporting Elementor a lot more. I'm hoping that I'll be working with Verdi a lot more on code snippets as well, even though I'm not a coder. We do get a lot of requests from Elementor plugin companies who want us to advertise their products. And I have to be honest, at the moment, I've kind of, I'm just going to increase the brightness here. I've tried to resist doing that, mainly because I'm not a fan when I see someone on YouTube and for about 2 months, they're promoting Elementor. Then they switch to Divi and they're doing that. Then they switch to something else and they do that. And I feel like we trust you. We're watching you. And now you've switched to a completely different product. What gives here? So unless I'm very passionate about a plugin, which is free, isn't going to cost you anything, and it was a benefit to me. So the video we did today for WooCommerce Shop Engine, brilliant plugin. It is free. Okay, it is totally free. I get nothing for it if I tell you about it. You can now customize your cart and your checkout pages. I mean, it is brilliant. You gotta give it a go. All right. Let me just check there's no more chats coming. Yeah. Give it a shot. It is brilliant. Okay, and it's totally free. And look at the WooCommerce video I did, and it is towards the final 10 minutes of the video. There is a timeline. Go and look at that. Okay. We have had people come to us saying, would we basically join an affiliation program where we advertise something else for them and we stick a link in? And again, we don't do that. There are no affiliation links for SiteGround in our descriptions. There are none for Elementor. There are none for WordPress. There's none for anything. Okay. If we ever put a link in, it's because we're telling you to go here to get some further information to help you out, but you make that decision. So look, we're down to our final 3 minutes, and I want to say thank you, John, because you were on right at the start. Hey, thanks, Andrew. Just sent a message in. Andrew Malmos, thank you very much. Sorry, just said your name. We said private chat. I'm not going to say your name, sorry, but we just had thanks for that. And John, who was on from the start, you've still stayed on. Are you from the UK, John? I can't recall where you're from again. Or are you from America? Or Papua New Guinea? Where are you from, John? But it's now coming up to 9 p.m. I will say, though, that when you try and do these for an hour long, I've got this water bottle here, but I've not even drunk from it yet. And it's probably got really warm. And it's very humid when you have a ring light up here as well. Like, so look at that. We've got a ring light right up there, bearing down on you from the heavens. It gets quite hot in here, really. But yeah, no, thanks very much, John. Yeah, I'm really glad you're on here as well. Thanks very much for that. But yeah, if you know someone who's struggling with Elementor, I mean, if you know someone struggling with WordPress, let me know, because I'm sure we can help them out. But more specifically on Elementor, you know, in terms of page building, or they're just struggling on where to start and what to do let us know. We do have a course on our website. And again, I'm not promoting anything here, where we go through basics, starting on your business, your customer, your branding, your domain, your hosting, the WordPress settings, and then we get into Elementor. So if you know someone out there that is struggling, do let us know. If you know anyone out there, John's from Colorado in USA. Guess what? I've never been to Colorado, but I'm sure it's a wonderful place. But if you know anyone out there who is about to purchase like a website page builder, hey, and we got Humberto, I hope I pronounced that right, from Germany. Do you know what? I really want to go to Germany one day. I just feel like there is so much I want to see there. But thanks for joining along. And I think next time I will say to people, everyone, look, put in where you're from so we can do greetings and things like that. But what I was saying was, if you know someone who's about to use 123reg page builder, GoDaddy, biggest culprit page builder, Wix, please get them to try and understand that Elementor will give them so much more. I'm not saying send them to me. I'm saying you use the power and experience that you have to get them to understand that there is so much more that can be done. Oh, hi. Yay. Ah, yes, Elemental Community Leader. I did think the name sounded familiar, but yes, great for coming along. But yes, I would say, right, use your ability and your experience to try and convince them that Elemental was better to do. I used Wix 12 years ago. I put my hand up, I used it, and 3 months later, I moved away from it. Why? Because drag and drop was great, but then it was very limited. And do you know how many people use GoDaddy and Wix because they think it's really cheap, and then they realize it's actually going to cost them £300 to £400 a year with the subscription, with the extra apps, with the extra add-ons and things they got to use. And look, Elemental, right? We're an agency, we have an agency license, so we do install it for our clients. But $49 a year, yes, it is $49, but to have all of this power and ability to do things is brilliant. And we don't use any Elemental add-on plugins at all. We used to early on, before we didn't buy Elemental Pro until October. I'm telling you too much now. But in October 2021, October 2020, we purchased Elemental Pro. Before that, we had Elemental, and some of my websites had 3 or 4 plugins. Conflict, problems, inconsistency. Okay, so since we got Pro, we don't use any of extra plugins. The latest one we've used is Shop Engine because it just adds something to WooCommerce. But we all know Mega Menu is coming on Elemental soon. Cart and checkout customization. Cannot wait. Well, look, it's now 1 minute past 9. I want to say thank you to everyone that's come along. I did at first feel like, oh, very first one, I'm just going to be talking to myself, but I'll keep doing it because these are, you know, this video is now going to be a video on our YouTube channel so other people can go and watch it and see what we got up to. But I want to say a really big thank you to everyone. Take care. I want to say like, subscribe, but if you haven't, please do subscribe to our channels, do follow us. And I hope we catch up soon, but take care. It was good to see you all virtually, and I'll see you again all soon. Take care. Bye.